What's up guys, welcome back. Today we'll look at 25 interesting facts you might not have known about Smite, so let's get into it. Number 1. There have been multiple occasions of gods changing classes from their original class. Guan Yu was a guardian but became a warrior, Nemesis and Thor were both warriors that became assassins, and Hades and Vulcan were both guardians that became mages. Number 2. In previous versions of Smite, there were no titans, there were instead minotaurs in each base. Number 3. If the game went over a certain time limit, the minotaurs from each side would walk down mid lane and fight each other in the centre of the map. Number 4. Smite is the only major MOBA to be released on consoles. League of Legends, Dota 2 and Heroes of the Storm are all PC exclusive. However, Paragon is currently in its beta phase for PS4. Number 5. The ability with the highest total damage to a single target in the game is Ganesh's Dharmic Pillars. It can deal up to 3060 plus 480% of your magical power over the 6-second duration. Number 6. The highest damaging basic ability, so non-ultimates, in the game is Cabrakan's Tremors, which can deal up to 1240 plus 700% of magical power to a single target. Number 7. In summer of 2012, a list of unreleased gods was data mined by the community. This included a god with an in-game model called Yan Lo Wang, who is the Chinese god of death. He still hasn't been released to this day. Number 8. There have been 2 skins from Smite's history that have been completely removed and it's no longer possible to get them. Nightprowler Bastet and Eliminator Raven. This is likely due to copyright claims from DC Comics and Warner Bros. Respectively. Number 9. Fenrir's release has become notorious, being delayed numerous times. This has become a meme within the Smite community that Fenrir is always, quote, the next god to be released. Number 10. Way back when Smite originally entered alpha, any god could build any item. This led to some pretty crazy stuff, the funniest of which was Ymir with Deathbringer and full power. Adding Ymir's passive damage plus the Deathbringer crit damage made for a pretty scary Ymir. Number 11. When Cabrakan was originally released, Hercules could throw his boulder into the walls of Cabrakan's ultimate and insta-kill almost any character in the game, since it would bounce between the walls of his ultimate pretty much infinitely. This has since been patched and no longer works though. Number 12. If you're quick enough, you can actually buy items while in the enemy's fountain. Number 13. In an old version of Smite, the Conquest map had jungles on the sides of the lanes as well as between the lanes. Number 14. Along with these side jungles, there were 3 buffs that have eventually been removed from the game. The health buff that gave 10 HP regen per second, equivalent to 50 HP 5. The armor buff that gave 50 magical and 50 physical protections. And the cooldown buff that gave 15% cooldown reduction. The cooldown buff, however, was taken out and added onto the blue mana buff, which now provides mana regen and cooldown reduction in a single buff. Number 15. There was a mechanic added to the game back in 2012 called Focus, which increased CC durations, like a reverse crowd control reduction. This was quickly removed though, as it was deemed unfun by most of the player base. Number 16. Way back in closed beta, you could actually buy stat buffs from the shop. For example, for a certain amount of gold, you could buy 5% cooldown reduction that was permanent and not tied to an item. This was less cost effective than buying items, but if you had enough gold, you may as well buy something with stats on it. This was removed before the end of closed beta though. Number 17. Guan Yu has become notorious for being the most overpowered god to ever enter Smite on his original release. Number 18. Smite was originally a game mode designed for Global Agenda, one of Hi-Rez's other games, but it was redesigned and launched as a standalone game concept in 2012. Number 19. There are numerous references between the gods in game that refers to their interactions within mythology. For example, one of Thanatos' directed taunts at Hades is, "You may be the lord of the underworld, but don't forget who does all the killing. Your next boss." Referencing how Thanatos reaps mortal souls and delivers them to Hades in the underworld. Number 20. There used to be a game mode called Domination back in Smite's beta phase. It works similarly to how Domination works in most other games. There were 3 points to capture and contest. Holding a point would deduct tickets from the enemy team, similar to Arena's ticket system, and the first team to reach 0 tickets lost. Number 21. The Morrigan is notorious for being the most buggy and unfinished release in Smite history. She would randomly die, be unable to move, teleport under the map, and so many more game-breaking bugs. Number 22. There used to be an interaction with old Nuwa's ultimate and Fenrir's ultimate, where you could insta-kill someone by moving them quickly between the walls of Nuwa's ultimate. It was nicknamed the Shake and Bake. Number 23. Towers, Phoenixes, Minions, Harpies, Red buff, Speed buff, Purple buff, the Gold Fury, the Portal Demon and the Titan all do physical damage, whereas only the blue buff does magical damage, while the Fire Giant does a mix of both types. This makes physical defense much more useful for general tankiness. Number 24. The first god added to the Mayan pantheon in Smite, Xbalanque, was added on the 21st of December 2012, which was the supposed doomsday predicted by the Mayan calendar. Number 25. Smite's Conquest map used to have a mist in the jungle called the Fog of War, which limited visibility in the jungle. It was removed due to hardware limitations and performance issues on lower end PCs though. Thanks for watching, leave a comment if you got any ideas for future videos, and be sure to subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Peace out, nerds.